Right now, there is a bird sitting somewhere near your yard, watching you. Not randomly, not casually, watching you with purpose. And here is what almost no one knows. That bird is making a decision about you. Whether you are safe, whether you are a threat, whether it should stay or leave forever. Scientists have confirmed something that will completely change the way you look at your backyard. Birds don't just communicate with each other. They communicate about you. They share information. They remember faces. They warn each other. And right now, in yards just like yours, birds are picking up on things you're doing, things you think are totally harmless, and they are quietly, permanently deciding to avoid you because of it. If you've ever wondered why your birds seem skittish, or why fewer of them are visiting lately, or why they never seem to fully trust you, this video is your answer. And I promise you, by the time we reach the end of this, you will never walk into your backyard the same way again. I'm so glad you're here at the Backyard Oracle, where we take the secret world of birds and bring it straight to your back porch. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it right now, because what we're about to cover is exactly the kind of thing this channel was made for. Stay with me. I've saved the most surprising thing for last, now. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Most people who love birds believe they are doing everything right. The feeder is full, the water is clean, the yard looks beautiful. And yet, the birds still keep their distance. They still flinch when you step outside. They still flutter away the moment you get too close. That's not a coincidence. That's a message. Birds are extraordinarily sensitive creatures. Their survival depends on their ability to read their environment. Every color, every sound, every movement, every shape. And humans, without realizing it, constantly trigger the exact signals that birds associate with danger. Let's talk about mistake number 1. The color trap. You probably never thought twice about what you wear when you step outside, but birds did. Birds have 4 types of color receptors in their eyes. Humans only have 3. That means birds see the world in a completely different spectrum than we do. Colors that look ordinary to us can appear shockingly vivid, even threatening to a bird. Bright reds, neon yellows, and stark whites can mimic the visual patterns of natural predators in certain lighting conditions. A bright red shirt, for example, can visually resemble warning signals that trigger alarm responses in many songbird species. Researchers studying bird behavior around humans found that birds responded with more avoidance behavior toward people in bright or high-contrast clothing compared to those dressed in softer, natural tones. Browns, greens, soft grays, and muted blues blend into the natural environment, and birds instinctively relax around colors that don't scream danger. Your wardrobe is speaking to your birds before you ever take a single step. Mistake number 2. The backyard predator. This one is harder to hear, but you need to hear it. If you have a cat, indoor, outdoor, or somewhere in between, your birds know. They always know. Studies from the American Bird Conservancy estimate that free-roaming cats are responsible for the deaths of billions of birds every year in the United States alone. But here's the part that most cat owners don't fully understand. Even when your cat doesn't catch a bird, the damage is already done. Birds that live near areas with cat activity experience chronic, prolonged stress. Their feeding patterns change. Their nesting decisions change. Their entire use of your yard changes. Because from a bird's perspective, a cat doesn't have to be actively hunting to be a threat. A cat simply existing in a space activates a bird's survival alarm, and that alarm doesn't easily turn off. If you've noticed your bird activity has dropped and you have a cat, that is not a coincidence. It is cause and effect. The birds aren't being dramatic. They're being alive. We're barely halfway through what your birds are trying to tell you, and I promise what's coming next gets even more unsettling. Mistake number 3. The invisible wall. Every year, between 600 million and 1 billion birds die in the United States from window strikes. 1 billion. It is one of the single largest human-caused threats to wild bird populations in North America, and almost no one talks about it. Here is why it happens. Birds cannot perceive glass as a solid surface. When they look at a window, they see one of 2 things: either a reflection of the sky and trees, which looks like open space, or a transparent panel that appears to be a passageway through your home to the garden on the other side. Either way, what they see looks like somewhere they can fly. They don't understand what happens next. If your windows face your yard or garden, your home may already be a danger zone that birds cannot recognize. Simple solutions exist. Window decals placed close together, external screens, or UV reflective film that birds can see but humans barely notice. Mistake number 4. Destroying homes without knowing. Now imagine this. A pair of sparrows has spent 2 weeks building a nest inside the hedge along your fence. The nest is almost finished. There are 2 eggs inside. Then one afternoon, you pull out the hedge trimmer because the hedge looks a little overgrown. And in 20 minutes, an entire bird family disappears. You had no idea. You would never do it on purpose. But it happened. This is one of the most heartbreaking mistakes backyard bird lovers make, and it's almost entirely invisible. Birds choose nesting sites that feel concealed and protected. Dense hedges, overgrown shrubs, even cluttered ivy on walls. These are not eyesores to birds. These are nurseries. Nesting season in most of North America runs roughly from early spring through late summer. During this window, any significant trimming, cutting, or clearing of dense vegetation carries a real risk of destroying active nests. Before you trim, look first, look slowly, look carefully. That overgrown corner of your yard might be the most important piece of real estate in your entire garden. Mistake number 5. Feeding them poison. This one is deeply uncomfortable because it involves good intentions going completely wrong. Many of the foods people offer birds are harmful, and some are quietly deadly. Bread is the most common example. People have been feeding bread to birds for generations. It feels natural. It feels generous. But bread offers almost no nutritional value to wild birds, and in large amounts it can cause a condition called angel wing, a deformity that permanently prevents birds from flying. Salted or heavily processed foods interfere with birds' fluid balance. Avocado contains a compound called persin that is toxic to most bird species. Even certain seeds sold in low-quality mixed birdseed bags contain fillers that birds cannot properly digest. What birds actually need, especially when they are raising young, is protein. High-quality black oil sunflower seeds, unsalted peanuts, mealworms, and suet are among the best options for most backyard species. Clean, fresh water matters just as much as food. The feeder you've been filling with love may be doing more harm than good if you don't know what's inside it. Mistake number 6. The noise problem. You may have heard that birds sing to communicate, but what you may not realize is how precisely they rely on that communication and how easily your yard can drown it out. Birds use song to establish territory, attract mates, signal alarm, and coordinate with their flock. These are not optional conversations. These are survival functions. And when the acoustic environment around them becomes too loud, lawnmowers, power tools, outdoor speakers, even constant foot traffic, birds cannot hear each other clearly. Studies have shown that birds in noisy environments sing differently. Higher pitched, faster, more repetitive, all attempts to cut through the interference. Over time, chronic noise disruption affects their ability to mate successfully, defend territory, and detect real predators. Your backyard doesn't have to be silent, but the quieter it is, the more your birds can actually live in it, not just survive in it. We've covered 6 things that quietly push birds away. But I saved this last one for a reason, because this is the one that happens every single day, in almost every backyard, and nobody ever suspects it. Mistake number 7. Predatory body language. Birds do not just see the world, they read it. Every movement you make when you step outside is being processed by every bird in your yard. And the way most humans naturally move, the way we face things, walk toward things, make eye contact with things, is almost identical to the movement patterns of a hunting predator. Think about how a predator approaches prey. It faces it directly. It makes sustained eye contact. It moves in a straight line toward it. It doesn't look away. Now think about how you walk toward your bird feeder to refill it. You walk toward it. You look at the birds. You approach directly. In human terms, you're doing something kind. In bird terms, you are displaying every behavioral marker of something that wants to catch them. Research into human-bird interaction has shown that birds are significantly more comfortable around people who move across their field of vision rather than toward them. Slow, diagonal, indirect movement, looking slightly away, not directly at the birds, allows birds to relax because it doesn't match the pattern of a predator approach. The birds in your yard have been reading your body language for as long as you've been watching them. The question is, what has your body been saying? Now I want to stop for a moment, because everything we've covered today could feel heavy. It could feel like yet another way humans are unknowingly making life harder for the creatures they love. And I don't want you to walk away from this feeling guilty. I want you to walk away feeling something more powerful than that. Informed. Because here's the truth. And this is the truth that the birds in your yard have been trying to show you in every flutter and every alarm call and every time they flew away just before you got close enough. They were never judging you. They were responding to you. There is a difference. Judgment is permanent. Response is changeable. Birds are not holding a grudge. They are not keeping score. Every single morning, your birds come back to your yard with a fresh set of eyes. Every morning is a new evaluation. And if you begin making different choices, if you wear softer colors, if your cat stays inside, if you move more slowly and indirectly, if you look more carefully before you trim, they will notice, not immediately. Birds build trust slowly, the same way it's earned between people. But they do build it. What happens when birds trust you? They stay longer. They sing more. They bring their young. They come closer. They feed without panic. The constant, low-level alarm that runs through a yard full of frightened birds gets quieter, and in its place, you start to hear something else entirely. Your yard becomes a sanctuary, not just for them, for you. Because there is something that happens when a wild creature chooses to trust you, something that is very hard to explain to someone who hasn't felt it. A kind of stillness, a sense that you are, somehow, exactly where you are supposed to be. That is what your birds are capable of giving you, if you give them a reason to stay. The birds in your yard may never know your name. They will never understand the care you put into their feeder or the mornings you stood quietly at the window just to watch them. They will never know you love them. But every single day, they are making a decision about you. They are deciding whether the yard you tend is safe or dangerous, whether the human who steps outside is a threat or a presence they can rest near, whether this place, your place, is somewhere worth returning to. The question that I want to leave you with today is simple. What are you teaching them about you? Because you have more influence over that answer than you ever realized. Thank you for spending this time here at the Backyard Oracle. If this video changed the way you see your backyard, even a little, please subscribe and leave a comment below telling me which of these 7 mistakes surprised you the most. I'll see you in the next one.